Hello and welcome to RT Ministries. My name is Dwayne, and today we're going to do a sermon through James. Not today, but I'm going to do a series, Sermon Through James. I've covered James in my videos before. I believe I did a chapter at a time, but I'm going to go a little more in depth this time. And today we're going to go 1 through 4, James 1 through 4. And you will be tested, right? It's such a shock to people, especially to a lot of Christians. I hear it's always a shock when things are unraveling and things are happening. But listen, a Christian should be told when they come to Christ and they're saved that you're going to be tried. Testing and trials will come. The worth of a soldier, I was in the military, the worth of a soldier is during war, right? You really know what a soldier is worth when it's during wartime. And listen, you don't know how your faith and how strong you are until you're tested and trials come. And you can't get stronger without trials either. So here's James. Again, this is James 1 through 4. James, a servant of God. When you come to Christ, guess who you're a servant of? We don't have the servant mentality in America very well. Listen, Christian, you're a servant of Jesus Christ. If you're a servant to somebody, who do you obey? Whose life is it? If you're a bondservant of Jesus Christ. If you're a slave to somebody, does your opinion really matter? No. Can you get up in the morning and say, I'm going to do what I want to do as a slave? No. Get in your head that you're a slave and a servant to Jesus Christ. This is a bondservant. This is more than just a servant. Most servants in America or around the world can say, I don't want to work for you anymore. This is you've been bought with a price. That pictures the slave market on top of a pedestal. Jesus Christ bought you with his life and death on that cross. He bought you. He owns you, and you're a bondservant to him. You have no choice in what happens. You're supposed to get up in the morning and say, what do you want me to do today? Instead, we get up, live our life, and give God the 5%, of our 100% of our 7 days, we give him about 5%. Listen, if you were a slave in the days of slaves, you would give 98% of your time that slave whatever he asked, and you get about 2% of your time. So James knew he was a servant of God and of the Lord Jesus Christ. They're both one and the same. If you're a servant to God, you're a servant to Christ. He bought you. To the 12 tribes in the dispersion, greetings. So he's writing this letter to the whole church. That includes us too. First, he said, count it all joy, my brothers, when you meet trials. Stop. When you meet trials, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to say, yay, I'm glad the trial's here. It's not what this is saying. Excuse me. Listen, when trials come, Christian, inside, you should say, God's doing something with me. Number one, you got to rely and trust the sovereignty of God because he controls trials and how bad they are. He'll never give you more than you can handle, right? You got to count on all joy inside knowing that something good's going to come out of this. You're going to grow and you're proving that you're a child of his, right? Listen, what are you supposed to do in trials? I'm going to tell you, Christian. What are you supposed to do in any trial? Whether it's death, whatever it is, whatever baloney you can think, garbage and sinful thing in this life that happens, bad things happen to everybody. So whatever happens to you, you're supposed to do what? Trust in God, right? Don't let your faith waver. Trust in God, and you're supposed to endure it for the glory of God. And here it says, inside, count it all joy because he's doing something. Should be joyful inside. That doesn't mean you got to be happy outside. It just means, you ever been excited inside? I mean, I've been through quite a bit in my life, death, all that stuff. But inside, even in the worst times, I knew the Lord and I could be joyful. So the first thing, count all joy when you meet. Doesn't mean when it comes, it's when you meet, when you're living your life and you meet. I can guarantee, Christian, you will meet trials. If you're a child of God, God has got trials for you. There's only one way to make you grow. Through many different fashions, God will show you how weak you are and your need for him and your reliance on him. And you'll grow. How does a child learn? He learns mostly through discipline, right? Child learns quickly through the bad time, the discipline part. This is why it's so important to discipline your children. Christians, discipline your children, not like the world does. Don't talk to them. Not just talk. It's good to talk to your kids, but not just talk when you should be disciplined. So count all joy when you meet trials of what? Various kinds. Everybody meets all kinds of different things in this world. Just because you're a Christian, don't believe the Joel Osteen baloney of, your best life now, all that kind of stuff. These people, just because you're obedient, just because your trials come, I don't care who you are. If you're out for just a blessing from God, you're not his. True children love their parents, right? Not just by God, what they give them. I love God, just not by what he does for me. I have a love inside for him. Why you count it all joy? For you know that the testing of your faith produces steadfastness. Meaning, listen, trials have got to produce your ability to endure. Steadfastness means when somebody's steadfast at something, they just keep going. It produces you to have endurance. I would say most Christians out there need endurance, because most of them claiming to be Christians have 0 to none. They fall, they crumble, they crack, they whine, they complain, they cry, they this, they that. They go to people to help fix the problem. Instead, they should be going to Jesus Christ. Listen, trials, count it all joy, because they're going to produce endurance in you. Listen, you need endurance. The reason in the military they put you through basic training, because you need endurance. You need to build the strength up, the endurance up, to be able to take something. God is doing a work in you, Christians, so you can take something. The future is not bright. This is February 2021. The future is not bright. The world's going to get worse. You need endurance. Let the trials do their work. So number one, when you meet trials, count it all joy and let it do its work. No one's going to make you stronger. Instead of going to pieces, look up. Say, Lord, I trust you. I might not like this. I might not even smile through it, but I trust you that this is going to help me and that you're in control and I'm your slave. Whatever you got, Lord, let it be done. Jesus asked in the garden, if there's any other way, let this cup pass. He said, but he ended, let your will be done. And that's what yours. Trials come, let your will be done, Lord. I trust you. And then let the steadfastness or endurance have its full effect, right? Let it have its effect that you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing. Listen, in order for you to be perfect and complete and sure-footed on level ground and strong, you need to let the trials do their work. When most people get trials, they go to pieces. They wonder why God's doing this. It's a self-word, inward, selfish. Why is God doing this to me? And if you complain too much, you're saying, I really don't deserve this kind of treatment. When God's in control of doing it all. Listen. If you go back to what you deserve hell. So I wouldn't really go back on, why is this happening to me kind of stuff. Listen, I don't know why half the stuff happens to me. I don't know why half the stuff happens to you. And neither will you, and you'll never know. You're going to have to put your trust and faith in God and let it do its work. While the trial is happening, you deal with it in a godly manner, keeping your eyes on Christ and his sovereignty, and let it do its work. You be godly through the trial. And listen, what are you commanded to do in the trial? Endure it. Listen, if you have two choices in every trial, you're gonna be put through trials. You can either dishonor God and be selfish and learn nothing from it, fail the test, or you can endure it and glorify God through it and be stronger for it and let it do its work in you so you may be perfect and complete. I want to be perfect and complete in Christ, right? I want to grow. I want to be stronger. I want to be perfect and complete. I don't want to lack anything. If you can honestly say I'm okay with lacking something, then I don't want to be like that. I don't want to lack anything. Whatever God has for me in the future is okay with me. Why? Because I'm his servant. I'm a bondservant to whatever he's in control of everything. I can't control God. I don't know what he's bringing, what he's doing. What can we learn from this? Listen, get in your mind, if you're a Christian, you're going to have trials. When you do have trials, count it. You should be excited inside, a joy inside, because it doesn't come from you. Jesus said, my joy I give you. You're given Christ's joy, not your own, inside. Even if the flames are rising outside, and the times are terrible, inside you're getting joy from Christ. You're letting the trial do its work in you, right? It's building steadfastness or endurance. It's building you to be stronger. Just like if you train. If a boxer trains, he's going to be a better boxer. He's going to be a stronger boxer. He's going to have more endurance. A runner and any athlete, the more they train, the more they're steadfast, the more they're enduring. They're letting the training do its work and they're becoming a better athlete. Same way as Christian. Let the trial, instead of working out like an athlete, the trial does the same thing. It builds you a better, stronger, more solid and Christian that can endure, that can, through Christ, can endure anything and glorify God. I would hope that's what everybody out there wants. So if you want to glorify God through trials, because listen, they'll come whether you want them or not. That's something you can't control. I want to glorify God in all trials. I want to stop failing trials. I failed many trials. I want to stop failing trials and glorify God. And this is how to do it. Let it do its work. Keep your eyes on Christ, people. We can. We can be the light for Christ. We can shed the light through trials and show people who God really is. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next time. Bye.